Zina's hands moved with practiced grace as she swept the floor of Miss Helena's salon for what felt like the 1,000th time that month. The broom had become an extension of her arm over the past 4 years, just like the mop, the shampoo bowl, and the errand basket. She watched Miss Helena's skilled fingers weave intricate braids into a customer's hair, her heart aching with longing. "Zina, stop daydreaming and fetch me more rubber bands," Miss Helena barked without looking up. "Yes, ma'am." Zina hurried to the supply cabinet, her dreams of actually styling hair feeling more distant with each passing day. She had been 7 years old when she first fell in love with hairstyling, watching her mother transform women in their small compound in Rivermark District. Now 23, she'd apprenticed under Miss Helena since she was 19, believing that patience and loyalty would eventually earn her the chance to do more than sweep and wash. But that chance never came. Then, everything changed. Miss Helena collapsed one morning, clutching her chest. The doctor said she needed complete rest. The salon doors closed, and Zina found herself staring at an empty bank account and an emptier future. "I can't wait anymore," she whispered to her reflection that night. "I have to do this myself." With her meager savings, Zina rented a cramped space behind the marketplace in Green Lane town. The walls needed paint, the mirror was cracked, but it was hers. She bought second-hand scissors, combs, and a styling chair that wobbled slightly. Her hands trembled as she hung a hand-painted sign, Zina's Hair Studio. Her first customer, a young mother named Grace, sat nervously in the wobbly chair. "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" Grace asked. Zina smiled, forcing confidence into her voice. "Trust me, I've been preparing for this moment for 4 years." Her fingers moved instinctively, sectioning, braiding, weaving. 2 hours later, Grace stared at her reflection in disbelief. "Ah, Zina, your hands are so gentle. This is beautiful." Word spread. Within weeks, customers filled her tiny shop. They praised her work endlessly. "This braid will last me for weeks. My scalp doesn't even hurt. You're going to be so successful." But 3 weeks passed. Then 4. The same customers who'd praised her hadn't returned. Zina sat alone in her shop, counting the coins in her cash box. Rent was due in 5 days. She had enough for food or electricity, not both. "Why aren't they coming back?" she asked the empty room. Her work was too good, too neat, too long-lasting. Mama Tewa, a friendly fabric trader from the market, stopped by one slow afternoon. She looked around the empty salon and clucked her tongue sympathetically. "My dear Zina, let me tell you something about business. Repeat customers are your backbone. Without them, you'll close your doors before the year ends. You need people coming back, building relationships, trusting you completely." Zina nodded, absorbing every word, but those words twisted in her mind as Mama Tewa left. "Repeat customers," Zina whispered. "People coming back." That night, she couldn't sleep. Her landlord had knocked twice that day about rent. The electricity company had sent a final notice. She stared at the ceiling, her mind racing. If only they came back more often. If only their hair needed redoing sooner. The thought arrived quietly, almost innocently. What if she could make them return? Not through better service or marketing, but through necessity. She sat up in bed, her heart pounding. In the corner of her room sat a container of strong hair relaxer she'd bought months ago. A dangerous chemical meant to be used with extreme caution and precision. Just a tiny amount, she reasoned. Just enough to cause a little itching. They'll think their hair needs maintenance and come back sooner. No real harm done. Her hands shook as she mixed a small portion of the relaxer into her regular hair cream the next morning. She used it on Mrs. Falake, a regular customer who'd come in for a quick touch-up. "You take such good care of us, Zina," Mrs. Falake said as she paid. Guilt stabbed through Zina's chest, but she pushed it down. "I'm just trying to survive," she muttered after Mrs. Falake left. 3 days later, Mrs. Falake returned, scratching her scalp frantically. "Zina, please, something is wrong. The braids are still neat, but my scalp is disturbing me. Can you check it?" Zina pretended to examine her scalp carefully. "Oh, I think your hair is just reacting to the weather. Let me redo it with a soothing treatment." Mrs. Falake left satisfied, and she returned again the following week. Then again. More customers came. Zina used the mixture on each of them. Within a month, her appointment book was full. Women returned every few days, complaining of mysterious itching, asking for her expert touch. "Zina, you're the only one who understands my hair. I don't know what I'd do without you." The money poured in. Zina paid her rent early. She bought new equipment, replaced the cracked mirror, fixed the wobbly chair. She hired a girl to help with washing. People called her the busy stylist of Green Lane. "See," she told herself, "I'm finally successful. This is what I deserved all along." But success demanded more. One week, business slowed slightly. Panicking, Zina increased the amount of relaxer in her mixture. The complaints grew more serious. "Zina, it's not just itching anymore. It's burning. My hair is breaking at the edges. I have these dry patches on my scalp." Each complaint was a knife to her conscience, but Zina had tasted success. She couldn't go back to those empty days, to choosing between food and electricity. She smiled reassuringly at each customer and promised to fix their problems with yet another appointment. 3 months into her chemical deception, Zina's salon had become the most popular in Green Lane town. She'd moved to a larger space, installed air conditioning, and could afford to eat 3 meals a day. But the guilt had grown into a constant companion, whispering accusations in her quietest moments. One afternoon, Boma, one of her most loyal customers, arrived for her 3rd appointment in 2 weeks. Her scalp showed visible irritation, red patches peeking through her braids. Boma said, "Zina, I trust you completely, but this pain is becoming unbearable." She winced as she sat down. "Don't worry, I'll use my special soothing treatment today," Zina replied, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Zina's phone rang, her supplier calling about an order. She stepped outside to take the call, leaving Boma alone in the salon. Boma stood to stretch and noticed an unlabeled plastic container on Zina's work table, partially hidden under a towel. Curious, she lifted the lid and immediately recoiled. The sharp, acrid smell was unmistakable. Chemical, harsh, nothing like the gentle creams Zina claimed to use. Boma quickly took a picture with her phone and replaced the container exactly as she'd found it. When Zina returned, Boma said nothing, but her mind raced with suspicion. That evening, Boma showed the picture to her friend Kemi, a 3rd-year medical student. "That smell, Kemi, it wasn't normal. And look at my scalp." Boma parted her hair to reveal the angry red patches. Kemi's face darkened. "Boma, I think Zina might be adding something dangerous to her products. This looks like a chemical burn, not a natural reaction." "But why would she do that? She's so caring, so gentle." "I don't know, but we need to find out. Let's go back together. I'll watch her work." 2 days later, both women arrived at the salon. Kemi pretended to be interested in getting her hair done, while Boma booked her regular appointment. They watched Zina carefully. When Zina thought no one was looking, she took that unlabeled container and mixed a small amount into her cream, using gloves and wiping her hands immediately. Kemi's jaw tightened. She had seen enough. She leaned close to Boma and whispered, "She's definitely adding something dangerous to her products. This looks like a chemical burn, not a natural reaction." But why would she do that? She's so caring, so gentle. I don't know, but we need to find out. Let's go back together. I'll watch her work. 2 days later, both women arrived at the salon. Kemi pretended to be interested in getting her hair done, while Boma booked her regular appointment. They watched Zina carefully,